Pumpkin Queens.
I'm Juliet.
And I'm Megan.
Welcome back to our channel, and today we're going to do the Christmas cookie countdown.
We're making cookies today. And Merry Christmas for all of you that celebrate Christmas. Also, happy everything, whether you celebrate Kwanzaa, Hanukkah. And you learned about a bunch of new holidays, didn't you, in school? Juliet learned about all the different holidays people celebrate during the winter around the world, which is really fun.
I like to learn about Chinese New Year.
Chinese New Year is really cool. So happy, merry everything to everyone. We are excited to be here with you guys on Christmas, if you celebrate Christmas, to do some cookies.
Yay!
We helped coordinate this collaboration with our good friends Andrew and Jess over at Magic in Michigan. I'm going to link their channel above and below. Go check them out. They are so much fun and they've become really good friends with us. This was a really fun idea. Andrew and Jess kind of came up with it and they let me tag along to help out. But what we did was we asked a bunch of our Disney YouTube friends to make a cookie recipe that's either something near and dear to their hearts or something new they wanted to try or whatever they felt like doing, and we are counting down until the days of Christmas.
Yeah.
And today's Christmas, so we're the last one in the group. Definitely go check everyone else out. Dee from All Out Pink Magic went yesterday on Christmas Eve. Definitely go check out her recipe and all the others. Today we are making a recipe and it is called milk chocolate macadamia nut cookies. Now that doesn't sound very unique or interesting maybe. It sounds kind of like what other people do, but there is a little secret to it. And instead of chocolate chips, what do we use?
We're using Hershey Kisses.
We use Hershey Kisses, the full ones, not the baking ones, the one you unwrap, and we use those as the chocolate instead of regular chocolate. My mom, Grammy Di, came up with this recipe from when I was young, and it was always the go-to cookie recipe she would take to work. She would, every time we had like a bake sale at my school, she would bring them, and she became known for these amazing cookies. So now I make them for my family. My family loves them.
They're delicious.
They are very good. So we are going to show you guys how to make them. Juliet and Nicholas are going to taste test in the end, and make sure to go check out all the other cookie recipes from all the other channels. I will list them below. They're all really great recipes and really fun and some really unique ones.
Yeah.
There's even a potato chip chocolate one.
Oh, that sounds
Which I definitely kind of want to try. It looked really interesting. That was from our friend Taylor and JP over at Pumpkin Pass, so definitely check that one out too.
They have potato chips?
Real potato chips. Never seen it before, but it looks good. So anyway, we are going to dive into baking, and we hope you guys enjoy this recipe. And let us know in the comments below if you end up trying it and if you liked it.
Bye!
Okay, you guys, here we go. We are going to make some cookies. Let's go over the ingredients and the supplies that we're going to need before we get started. First, you are going to need a good-sized mixing bowl. You are going to need a nice knife for chopping the Hershey Kisses and the macadamia nuts. You will also need some measuring cups. I have a 1/4 cup here and a 1 cup. You will also need some measuring spoons. Yes, I have Jack measuring spoons. And you will need a decent size cutting board that you see right here for chopping. And you will need a pan lined with parchment paper for baking the cookies. Over to the ingredients, you're going to need brown sugar, regular sugar, flour, baking soda. You're going to need a bag of Hershey Kisses. We will talk about how many you actually need once we get going. You are going to need 2 eggs, vanilla, 2 sticks of unsalted butter softened at room temperature. You will need a little bit of salt, and you will need macadamia nuts. So this is everything that we will need to bake our cookies. We're gonna do our prep work first. So we are going to start chopping the Hershey Kisses and the macadamia nuts. Okay, you guys, we are going to do all of our prep work first. We are going to chop our macadamia nuts and our Hershey Kisses. We are going to start with the macadamia nuts. My kids actually do not like nuts in their cookies, so what I do with this recipe is I half the recipe. Once I've made the dough, I put half to the side and add the chocolate, and I leave the nuts out of that half, and then the other half for my husband and I do chocolate and nuts. So if you're doing a full recipe with macadamia nuts, you want to do a cup chopped. If you're gonna half it, like if you have someone in your family that does not like nuts, you would do a 1/2 cup of macadamia nuts. So I am going to cut up a 1/2 cup You want to do a very rough chop. You do not want these to be diced or minced. You want them to be very chunky. So I am going to cut these fairly choppy, if you will, and then we will come back and we will do the Hershey Kisses. So we will magically make these chop. We have our chopped macadamia nuts. This is a 1/2 cup, so I'm going to transfer these to a bowl, and then we are going to start with the Hershey Kisses. Now we are going to do our Hershey Kisses. I have this huge bag here. It's a 2-pound bag. That's all they had at the store. I'm going to use probably about half, not quite half, but you're gonna use a good amount because you want a lot of chocolate. You can buy the Hershey Kisses that are quote unquote made for baking. They're in like a typical type of chocolate chip bag. I think it's a pound or whatnot. My mom has always told me they don't melt the same, so I trust her because this is her recipe. So you want the real Hershey Kisses, not the ones that are made for baking. So you do have to take them out of the foil and chop them, and it is a long process, but it is so worth it. So I am just going to dump about half the bag out here. That looks about right. Like I said, you just kind of eyeball it and you'll see what works for your family. So for these, we're not really going to chop them. We are just going to cut them in half, and that's how we're going to put them in the cookies, because then they get melty, but they don't get too melty. So they're still a little bit firm when you bite into them, and that's kind of the idea. So I am going to peel all these, and then we are going to chop them and get going on our dough. I have unwrapped our Hershey Kisses. There are 60 Hershey Kisses here. Looking at this, I believe this is going to be enough and it's going to be good. So if you buy a bag, just know you're going to need about 60, give or take. I'm going to chop these up, and then we are going to put them in a bowl to the side, and then we will start making the dough. I also forgotten to say, but I'm going to put it, I'm going to write it down below, to preheat your oven to 375. So I'm going to cut these and then we'll start on the dough. Here we go. Our Hershey Kisses are chopped, and this is what I mean, kind of like just chopped in half, and little pieces will break off, but you just want good chunks of the chocolate. So I'm going to transfer these to a bowl, put them off to the side, and then we are going to start making our dough. It is time to make the dough. I have my 2 sticks of softened butter, unsalted butter that's at room temperature. I am going to add 3/4 cup of brown sugar. I already have that measured out. I'm just gonna dump it in. We are also going to add 3/4 cup of regular sugar, which I am going to measure out right now. And I have 1/4 cup I'm using, so 1, 2, and 3. So I am going to get this going, and then I am going to add in my 2 eggs. Okay, our sugars and butter are mixed pretty well, so I'm going to add in my 2 eggs. Okay, now we are going to add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Okay, our dough is looking good. I am going to get the dry ingredients together and we'll add those in. We are going to add our dry ingredients. I'm going to do 1 teaspoon of baking soda and 1 teaspoon of salt. So we'll start with our baking soda. I know a lot of people will mix their dry ingredients in a separate bowl, mix them together, and then add that to their wet ingredients. I've never done it that way. I was never taught to do it that way, so this could be completely incorrect, but our cookies always turn out really good. So this is the way I just keep doing it. Plus, I like one bowl kinds of things. I don't like using a million different utensils and bowls. So now we are going to do 2 1/4 cup of flour. Okay, we have all of our ingredients in. I am going to start mixing this up. And then since I am doing half of the recipe with nuts and half without, I will divide the dough and put half in another bowl before we mix the extra stuff in. Okay, you guys, it is all mixed. It is ready for the chocolate. So I'm going to add the chocolate. Then I'm going to separate the dough and use put nuts in half of it. So here are Hershey Kisses chopped, and I'm going to add those in. They look amazing. And I know it looks like a lot of chocolate, but trust me, it's just that kind of cookie, my friends. You need a lot of chocolate. Okay, we have the chocolate mixed in. So as you can see, it is a lot of chocolate, but it definitely evenly distributes. It doesn't look like it's too much. So I am going to cut this dough in half, put it in another bowl to mix the nuts, and then we will start baking. I have removed half of the dough, and now I'm going to add the nuts to the remaining half. Okay guys, it is all mixed in. We will start putting our cookies on our cookie sheet. I am going to do half and half. I'm going to do 3 cookies on here with nuts and 3 without, so you guys can see the difference when they come out. I have my lined cookie sheet here with parchment paper. I don't have a fancy like cookie scooper. I know a lot of people do, or they'll use like a cupcake kind of scooper. I just use a spoon. And I eyeball it. We make these pretty big. They're not little cookies. So I will show you about what I put on. It's about, you know, a little more than a spoonful. Kind of like this. This is the size we do. You can make these any size you want. This is just what we do. And they look about, that's about how much dough it looks like. So maybe like 2 scoops of a little scoop. I'm so bad at telling you. But definitely more than just a spoonful. So they're not going to be exact. Some might be a little bigger than others. That doesn't bother me. There's also a secret to baking chocolate chip cookies. Not just chocolate chip, but all cookies. You want to slightly underbake them, because they continue cooking when they are on the baking sheet. And a lot of times people will put them in for the exact time it says on the package. And then your cookies are like kind of hard and not soft like you want. Like you want a crispy edge, but you want it to be soft and gooey in the middle. So I underbake mine. That's always the way my mom did. That's always the way I was taught to do it. That one needs a little bit more, I think. And then I let them sit on the rack. On the cookie sheet for just a couple minutes, and then I take them off on the cooling rack. Put these in for about 9 minutes and check them. So when you take them out, they might look like, oh, they need to be cooked more. Trust me, they don't. Just let them be a little doughy. It makes all the difference. It's like this, it's not really a secret in baking, but a lot of people don't know about it, or don't try it, or they're too afraid because of the egg or whatever. So I'm gonna put these in, and then we will check them in 9 minutes. I just took these out of the oven. I am going to move them to a cooling rack so that they can cool. I'm gonna bake up the rest of the dough, and then we will do a taste test. And if you look a little closer, this is what I mean by like a slight underbake. You can see in the middle, some of them look a little like they might not be fully done, but that is exactly what you want, and they will finish cooking as they are cooling. We are back. We have our 2 cookie connoisseurs here. Let's take a look at our cookies.
They look super good.
They look delicious. We have just the chocolate chip ones on the very top, and then you can see the ones with nuts that are towards the bottom. And it's time for the best part. What are we doing?
Taste it.
All right, so why don't you guys grab the chocolate chip ones?
Really delicious.
Better than chocolate chips?
Yes.
What do you think, Nicholas? Thumbs up?
Mm-hmm.
We love these cookies. My husband loves them. They're just really special cookies to us. Thank you to Grammy Di for the fantastic recipe, because they are her cookies. And we are going to sign off. You guys make sure to check out all the other people that were in this collab. We ended it today on Christmas Day, but go check out all the other awesome channels that did really delicious cookies, because they were all such good recipes. So if you like this video, give it a what?
Thumbs up and subscribe.
And be sure to watch out for our future videos, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.